The champions who fought at our side assured the survival of our world. But now, we must see it with mortal eyes. We dragon aspects have fulfilled our great purpose, and our ancient power is expended. But though our day draws to an end, life endures, and new generations will be born. Today's victory belongs to all who stood against the shadow. You are Azeroth's true guardians, and the future of this world is in your hands. For the dawning of the Age of Mortals has begun.
Hello guys, this is Honest Movies, and today I got yet another World of Warcraft lore lesson. In this video, I will give you the lore of Alexstrasza, the former dragon aspect, the leader of the Red Dragonflight, and also known as the Life-binder. So I thought I had covered her before, but it turns out I didn't, and I really wanted to do so now because Alexstrasza is such an important character that he has extremely strong ties to the world of Azeroth, and she was involved in pretty much every major event that happened on the world of Azeroth, and she pretty much helped with every foe we have fought before. So without further ado, let's just get into her lore. So all of you probably know that the dragon aspects are these big powerful dragons, but long ago they weren't like that at all. Most of this was kinda explained in the recently released book called Dawn of the Aspects. Now the dragon aspects were proto-drakes ones who were quite primitive compared to today's dragons. All 5 of them, Alexstrasza, her sister Ysera, Malygos, Nosdormu and Neltharion, fought the giant dragon Galakrond, who was a threat to them all, and thus the Titans saw their fight, and before they departed the world of Azeroth, they empowered them in order to safeguard the world of Azeroth. So all of them received a small portion of the Titans' power. Alexstrasza in particular received her powers from Eonar, the patron of all life, and thus she became known as the Life-binder, and her duty was to safeguard all living creatures on Azeroth. Now her story continues 10,000 years ago as the Burning Legion invades on behalf of the Highborn Queen Azshara. She helped the mortals fight off the Burning Legion, but it was during this time that one of the aspects, called Neltharion, or later known as Deathwing, turned evil. Deathwing was once a noble dragon, but he had heard the whispers of the old gods who wanted to use him in order to free themselves, and he turned mad and saw the opportunity to complete his dragon soul in order to use its power so that he can rule Azeroth, and so that all of the living beings of Azeroth would worship him as a god. Now he received the dragon aspects, Alexstrasza included, in order to give a portion of their power to the dragon soul so that he could use it in order to defeat the demons of the Burning Legion, or so they thought, but little did they know about his actual plan. Now he, together with the rest of the dragonflights, flew together to Zinashari, where the Night Elves were fighting the Burning Legion, and he grabbed the dragon soul and started killing thousands of demons and also the Night Elves, and that is when pretty much everyone realized that he had betrayed them. Now Deathwing demanded all of the dragonflights to bow to him, but Malygos and the Blue Dragonflight refused, and they attacked him, and with the use of the dragon soul he destroyed his entire dragonflight, but Malygos did actually survive. Now the aspects feared that the same thing would happen to them and to their dragonflights, so in desperation they hid themselves. Meanwhile, Deathwing's corruption was tearing his body apart, so the goblins who also made the dragon soul forged him an armor in order to keep him in one piece while being at close proximity of the dragon soul, as it was pretty much just tearing his body apart. However, Malfurion discovered his lair through the Emerald Dream, and he stole the demon soul from him, but Illidan and Varoten, who is a personal guard of Azshara, captured him and handed the demon soul to Manoroth, who was leading the Legion's armies. He then used the power of it in order to summon Sargeras into the world. Now Deathwing came to recover it while it was being used and succeeded in reaching it, however he was almost destroyed in the attempt. Now after the defeat of the Burning Legion, the dragon aspect sealed the demon soul so that Deathwing wouldn't even be able to find it or use its powers again. After that, the war ended, but the world was still destroyed, and Alexstrasza, Ysera and Nosdormu agreed to use the well in Mount Hyjal, which contained the essence of the Well of Eternity since Illidan spilled the vials from it, in order to heal the war-ravaged land. So they placed a magical acorn so that the first world tree could grow, which was later on named Nordrassil. The world tree also gave the Night Elves the immortality so that they can keep the balance and harmony while the dragons were away. Now around 25 years approximately back from the current era, Deathwing finally discovered the location of the Demon Soul. Of course he couldn't use it because of the enhancements the aspects have bestowed upon it previously, but he found a way to use it. And he used the Dragon Maw clan and their leader Zul'Hid the Whacked in order to capture Alexstrasza so that they can force her to breed mounts for their armies. Even after the second war ended, Alexstrasza was extremely valuable to the Horde military and was to be protected at all costs. But Deathwing had another plan, as he wanted to get her out in the open so that he can steal her children in order to create a new Dragonflight for himself. And then he manipulated the orcs into moving because he told them an alliance attack is coming, and once they were out in the open they were attacked by Deathwing. The three other free aspects, Malygos, Ysera and Ozurmu, attacked Deathwing, but they were no match for him as they gave a part of their power to the Demon Soul, so they were weaker, while Deathwing was the only one who didn't give a portion of his power to the Demon Soul, so he was stronger than them. But Ronin, the human mage, who was on a mission to free Alexstrasza, stole the Demon Soul from Necros Skullcrusher who was holding it, and he destroyed it, thus releasing all of the powers that the dragons had once given to it, and Deathwing had no other choice but to retreat, and Alexstrasza was free again. After that, Alexstrasza returns again in Wrath of the Lich King as she travels to the Wormrest Temple in Northrend in order to deal with the latest issue, the Nexus War. Now, if you didn't know, the Nexus War started when Malygos went crazy and declared war against all of the spellcasters, mostly Dalaran and the Kirin Tor, because he thought they were evil and that they're going to summon the Burning Legion again. Now, Alexstrasza sided with the humans, although it's mostly because of a promise she made to Ronin before, because he actually freed her from the torture. Later on, she made an appearance in the Stormrage novel where she helped the Night Elves with the Emerald Nightmare, and most importantly, in the end when Malfurion and Tyrande got married, she and her sister Ysera blessed Teldrassil, now making it officially a new world tree after the previous one was destroyed by Archimonde, or at least they used the powers in order to destroy Archimonde. However, peace wasn't really for long because Deathwing was recovering from his previous wounds, and now the whispers of the old gods were greater than ever before, so his power was definitely multiplied a lot compared to his previous power. Now once he woke up, he literally shattered the world of Azeroth, and thus the event was known as the Shattering, and pretty much every part of Azeroth was touched by it, every zone, and barely any part was untouched, so that's why definitely they call it the Shattering, because it pretty much shattered the entire world. Now in the Twilight Highlands, Alexstrasza faced off Deathwing in an epic battle, however they both fell to the ground and she was exhausted from the battle, and then Kaelin, who is a red dragon, pretty much a child of Alexstrasza, and player come to her side. While she thinks Deathwing was dead, he rises up behind him, and the player escapes with Alexstrasza, while Kaelin, who knew he was really no match for such a power as Deathwing, sacrifices himself in order to buy time so that Alexstrasza can get to safety. Later on, the dragons convened in the Wormrest Temple to have their first meeting with the Blue Dragonflight since Malygos died. Now while the meeting was going on, Crassus, Alexstrasza's consort, went to the Ruby Sanctum below in order to check on the eggs, and there he discovered that the Twilight's Hammer was casting dark spells on the eggs, and that their spells had mutated hatchings from all of the flights, so he used all of his power in order to link the portals of all sanctums together and pretty much imploded, which destroyed a good part of the Wormrest Temple and pretty much also killed himself, thus he sacrificed himself. Now his death was considered a betrayal because it destroyed a huge portion of the Wormrest Temple, which sent Alexstrasza into a great depression, but once Troll got a vision of what actually happened, he told her the news and she rejoined their cause in order for Crassus' great sacrifice to not really happen in vain. After that, they realized that Deathwing had to be slain in order to keep the world alive, and her sister Ysera realizes that the only weapon that would be strong enough to kill Deathwing is the Dragon Soul that was created by Deathwing. But the Dragon Soul has been destroyed, but through Nosdormu, they arranged to actually go back in time and retrieve it so that it can be used in the present time to kill Deathwing. Now Troll then used the Dragon Soul, which has been bestowed with powers of all aspects, and it completely destroys Deathwing, and thus the world is saved. Now the aspects realized that their ancient powers have been expanded, and that they had pretty much fulfilled their ancient great purpose of safeguarding the world of Azeroth, so they become mortal and are no longer the aspects guarding the world of Azeroth. Now even though Alexstrasza's goal might have been fulfilled, she is still a pretty relevant figure in the world of Azeroth, and thus she has made an appearance in the novel called Warcraft, where she was a witness during the trial of Garrosh Yellscream, and pretty much she was there just retelling the events of how she was tortured by the hands of the orcs, and she states that she would be able to forgive them, and that she loved every creature on Azeroth and even the orcs themselves. Alright, that is all I have for this lore lesson. I hope you had enjoyed, and feel free to leave your feedback on what you would like to see in the future. Right now I have a plan on doing a few more lore videos. Also, I'm always open for feedback on what you would like to see from my channel, so the comment section is a perfect place for you to leave your feedback. Also, don't forget to like, favorite and subscribe, as it really helps with the channel and keeps the videos going. And also check out my Twitch.tv stream, as I will be streaming there quite seriously after the new year. Thanks a lot for taking your time to watch this video, and see you next time.